You're invited to imagine what's next. What the next view you wake up to will be. Where your next adventures will start from. Your perfect space to entertain. And your sanctuary to unwind in. As you begin to imagine your new place, we'll be here to help you find it. Because nothing compares to what's next. Sotheby'sRealty.com.
There's been terrible loss of infrastructure, economic activity and human life in Himachal Pradesh with incessant rains and landslides. Today on the Urban Agenda, we put the spotlight on the state's capital and its largest town, Shimla. Fondly known as the Queen of Hills, Shimla is a unique combination of British colonial hill architecture and a bustling modern state capital. Today we ask, is it time to rethink how to make Shimla safe, resilient and future ready with climate change now a reality? Now, according to official sources given to wire agency IAS, there are around 25,000 unauthorized buildings in Himachal state and the majority are concentrated in Shimla. Now, these buildings have not been passed by Shimla Municipal Corporation. That's the point to note. It's perhaps worth remembering that this capital was originally designed by the British for 16,000 residents. Shimla now houses more than 2,25,000 people. Now, according to the Hazard, Risk and Vulnerability Assessment for Shimla and the City Disaster Management Plan, Shimla's carrying capacity has been far surpassed. About 33% of the city, they say, is at high risk, 50% at moderate risk and 16% at low risk of landslides. Now, Shimla is also located in the seismic zone 4, putting it at a significant earthquake risk. And according to surveys and reports, around 20,466 lives are at risk in the event of an earthquake due to high building density. Bottom line, Shimla's haphazard growth is no different from any other city of India where economic opportunities have led to large migration of people into the city. What is unique though is the state capital's hill topography, which makes it far more vulnerable to climate disasters. So, what can be done to keep the city, its economy and its people safe? Joining me for the discussion are administrators who understand this region and state inside out, Mr. Shrikant Baldi, RERA Chairperson of Himachal Pradesh and its former Chief Secretary, Mehboob Sheikh, Urban Planner, Shimla Nagar Nigam. Mr. Baldi, yes, we know that the rains in the state and the landslides, loose strata have caused the maximum damage in Himachal Pradesh. But, you know, the recent losses have also exposed and put a question mark on the haphazard construction, which have been flouting norms, structural flaws in buildings, poor drainage system, etc. in the capital Shimla specifically. Now, how worrying as RERA head are these fault lines to you?
What you told about Shimla is 100% correct. I'm resident of Shimla from last 30 years. And this time, heavy rains have actually opened eyes for everyone, including me. What happened from August 12 to 14th was 60 hours of relentless rain, which caused 3 huge landslides, leading to 24 deaths and lot of damage to the property. Now, because of the climate change, the extreme events are going to take place. Whether Shimla as a city is ready to withstand these extreme events or not, that is a huge question. And I think there is a lot of need to plan, execute to keep Shimla, preserve its heritage, protect it, and also to decongest it.
You've, said a golden word, decongest the town or the city now. It's actually a city if you just go by the fact that it is the largest city of Himachal Pradesh and a capital. State leaders have been speaking of unauthorized construction, and we know that the state or the city has increased from 2-kilometer radius to about 10-kilometer radius. number of attempts have been made with retention policy to actually authorize these illegal constructions rather than look at other solutions. What do you have in mind when you say decongest the city?
First, I will come to the retention policies. Actually, what we see in Shimla, the rampant construction, is because of the successive retention policies approved by the past governments. And because of that, high-rising buildings have come up. Now, the development or construction has come to the hill. And that has led to massive hazard, what we witness today. The only option left is that how do we decongest Shimla and take out major areas which can go outside. What I feel is that we need to have a satellite city which caters to Shimla but offload its major governmental buildings, because most of the buildings in Shimla, because of the traffic, is because of the urban population, is because of the government buildings. We can have buildings outside Shimla near the Jubarhatti, where a satellite city can come and most of the buildings can be relocated. That can really help decongesting Shimla city.
What about the unauthorized constructions themselves? What do you do? You know, with the retention policy, a lot of villages surrounding Shimla have now become part of, you know, the Municipal Corporation of Shimla. And these have not followed the bylaws, sir. You're the RERA chief. What you do is, I mean, you cannot change history, but is there anything which can be done to fix it? Because they're all actually in a very precarious position. They may collapse if there is an earthquake or a massive landslide.
You are right. As Chairman RERA, my jurisdiction and domain is only on the real estate which is constructed for resale. And we have very few buildings coming up in Shimla, just less than 100. So major construction which is coming in Shimla is either the residential private buildings or hotels and tourism, which is not part of the domain of RERA. But as a citizen of this city, I feel what has happened over the years is because of the public pressure or public opinion and the political less will, the unauthorized construction have been regularized. It is not complete unauthorized. What has happened in Shimla is that a building was approved for 2-story, but it was made to 5 or 6 stories or 4 stories. And that was later on regularized over the years. And that has caused this present problem. And finally, in 2017, the court intervened and they struck it down. And luckily now we have no retention policy. And I hope there will be no retention policy in future.
Mr. Baldi, let me also ask you another important question. Do we have a proper master plan for Shimla, you know, with a vision for next 25 years, which takes into consideration the new realities of climate change?
Shimla had the first interim development plan in 1979. And you would be happy to know that a new development plan has been notified in June 2023, this year, for 2041. But that has a lot of flaws. And this is the time, I feel this adversity has given us an opportunity to rework that plan, because any master plan which is prepared by a town country planning department is mainly looking to the land use pattern. Whereas a hill city require geology and hydrology to be inbuilt. So what I feel and what I propose is that the master plan need to be reworked and completely overhauled, keeping in view the hydrology and geology of Shimla town.
If you were to give, you know, 3 suggestions, including to the citizens of Shimla, what would they be? Because, you know, nothing can be done. A lot of unauthorized construction, which has been, you know, under retention policies authorized, is because of the citizen pressure. Do you believe this wake-up call is good enough to bring the citizens on the table and get these 2 or 3 critical messages across?
Yeah, I think this is a wake-up call, and many measures need to be taken to preserve and protect Shimla city. The first and foremost is the safety of the people. So what I feel is the sliding zone need to be stabilized. That is the first requirement. Along with this, all the existing buildings, structural stability study needs to be done to see whether they are strictly sound or not. Otherwise, retrofitting has to be done. That is the first and foremost requirement. The second point, if we see the landslide, what has happened is the landslides are triggered because of heavy rainfall. We have 13 natural drainage lines, but over the year, either they have been blocked or diverted. So if we want Shimla to be preserved, all the natural drainage lines have to be developed, redesigned, and smaller drainage lines have to be developed for keeping in view these extreme events. That is very, very important. And third, as I mentioned, we need to have a complete development plan where we don't allow construction on sinking and sliding zone. We don't allow construction in green areas and in the core area. And in the periphery, we decide based on geology and hydrology.
Mr. Shrikant Baldi, thank you so much for your wonderful insights. Let's bring in Mr. Mehboob Sheikh here. He's the urban planner of Shimla Nagar Nigam. Mr. Sheikh, thank you very much for joining us on this important discussion. Let me start with asking you a very simple question. On ground, how safe are people feeling in Shimla in their homes, sir?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी एक्सप्लेन. जो हुआ बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण हुआ है, लेकिन हुआ क्या है, जितना हम मीडिया में देख रहे हैं ग्राउंड पे कुछ और है. एक इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस स्टडी, वहां पे क्लाउड बर्स्ट हुआ है. वहां से एक हमारे शिव मंदिर वो वॉश अवे हुआ है, तो उसमें हमारी काफी जानें गई हैं. वो एक हमारे लिए अचानक सदमा था हम लोगों के लिए, वो जो हुआ है. और सेकेंडली हमारा दूसरा कृष्णा नगर में जो 5-6 बिल्डिंग्स लैंडस्लाइड हुई हैं, तो वो ऐसे नहीं, वो पिछले 10 साल से ना हमें उम्मीद थी कि ये कभी इस सीजन में या अगले सीजन में वो जाएंगी. वो जो 6-7 बिल्डिंग्स कृष्णा नगर में गई हैं, वो लूज स्टार्टा के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा इंजीनियरिंग उसमें यूज नहीं की हुई थी, वो वॉश अवे हुई हैं. लेकिन जो हमारा सरकारी एबेटर था उसके ऊपरी 2-3 फ्लोर में ही डैमेज हुआ है, जबकि मलबे के नीचे हम अभी भी देख सकते हैं 2 फ्लोर बिल्कुल ठीक है अभी भी.
Mr. Sheikh, one of the bigger problems has been that the city limits are growing. Villages are now counted within Shimla. The surrounding ones from 2 kilometers has become 10-kilometer radius. Several subsequent retention policies by state governments have authorized a lot of these unauthorized buildings, especially the fact that now we don't have 2-floor buildings, but there are 5 to 6 floors on 60-degree hill slopes. Is that dangerous? What is the way out?
This is very much valid point, ma'am, because surrounding area which has been merged in the municipal corporation, that area covers under interim development plan of Shimla city. It's covered since 1979. 79 के बाद इसमें है. लेकिन वो गांव एरिया था, उन्होंने ज्यादा सीरियसली नहीं लिया, उन्होंने नक्शे पास नहीं करवाए, और उन्होंने stories without any structure design, without engaging any structure engineer, without leaving any setback, without making proper drainage, उन्होंने बिल्डिंग्स बनाई हैं, 10-10 मंजिलें बनाई हैं. पिछली काफी बार रिटेंशन पॉलिसी में उनको रेगुलराइज भी किया गया है. लेकिन अगर रेगुलराइज किया गया, लेकिन स्ट्रक्चरल स्टेबिलिटी के तो उसका एक क्वेश्चन मार्क बना ही रहा ना. हिल कट तो हम ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि हमारे वैसे लॉ में भी है कि हिल कट मिनिमम से मिनिमम करना है, लेकिन लोग ये शिमला को समझते नहीं है कि 2 फ्लोर. अब शिमला में जब आप रहना शुरू कर दो तो 2 फ्लोर तो बिल्कुल डंप रहती है. पहले हम कंस्ट्रक्शन यहाँ करते थे 5 फ्लोर तक करते थे, क्योंकि वो स्टेप्स में करते थे. क्या रहता था उसमें, हिल कट नहीं होता था. अब हिल कट बढ़ रहा है क्योंकि 2 ही मंजिलें हैं, 2 मंजिलों से बनानी है, ग्राउंड फ्लैट करना है. ये इसकी वजह से, हिल कट की वजह से भी लैंडस्लाइड के खतरे बढ़ जाते हैं. और मैं तो एडवोकेट करूंगा कि जहां पे भी कंस्ट्रक्शन हो, सराउंडिंग पेरिफेरी खुली हो, कि हाई राइज बिल्डिंग हो विद इंजीनियरिंग एक्सपर्टाइज के साथ बने, वो एक्सपर्टाइज इंगेज किए जाए उसमें.
As an architect planner, what are the long-term solutions that hill cities of India like Shimla must keep in mind to ensure better preparation against climate change?
एक तो जितने भी कंस्ट्रक्शन हो, इंजीनियर एक्सपर्ट एंगेज करके ही हो, ग्राउंड लेवल पे वो ग्रास रूट पे एंगेज हो, ग्रास रूट पे इंप्लीमेंट हो, इंजीनियर्स की प्रेजेंस हो ड्यूरिंग कंस्ट्रक्शन, और जो डिजाइन एक्चुअली हमारे पास आता है, ऑफिस में आता है स्ट्रक्चरल डिजाइन किसी भी बिल्डिंग का, वो ग्रास रूट पे 100% इंप्लीमेंट हो। हालांकि हम अभी भी पूरी कोशिश करते हैं वो इंप्लीमेंट हो। एक नंबर 2, हिल कट तो अवॉइड करना पड़ेगा। नंबर 3, जो आप कह रही हैं बार बार कि अनऑथराइज कंस्ट्रक्शन, व्हाई इट्स अकरिंग, यही कारण ने रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया, चेक कर दिया है 2 मंजिल के ऊपर। 2 मंजिल शिमला में रहने लायक नहीं बनती। 2 मंजिल के अंदर जिसका भी घर होता है ना, शिमला में चंडीगढ़ में हम जाते हैं, चंडीगढ़ में ग्राउंड फ्लोर को अच्छा मानते हैं, शिमला में 4th फ्लोर एंड 5th फ्लोर ही ऑनर अपने लिए रखता है। पहले वाला जो फ्लोर है वो तो बिल्कुल ही डंप ऐसी रहती है, डंपनेस रहती है उसमें कि चारों तरफ से, एक तो यहाँ पे धूप की बड़ी जरूरत रहती है, धूप नहीं आती उसमें। एग्जांपल इस, जितने भी हमारे यहाँ पे हाई राइज बिल्डिंग्स हैं सारी स्टेबल हैं, किसी के ऊपर कोई खतरा नहीं है।
Well, there's been a substantial loss for Himachal Pradesh as a whole and Shimla as well as a capital. Tourism especially has been disrupted, which is a strong income generator for people of this state capital. Hopefully, this year's devastation will bring all custodians of Shimla together to find solutions to make the state capital resilient and safe. On the other side, the story of Project Mumbai, a collaboration between citizens, public administration and corporates or businesses working tirelessly to make Mumbai a better city. Stay with us.
You're invited to imagine what's next. Well, the next view you wake up to will be where your next adventures will start from. Your perfect space to entertain. And your sanctuary to unwind in. As you begin to imagine your new place, we'll be here to help you find it. Because nothing compares to what's next. Sotheby'srealty.com